Good blessed throwback Thursday, December the 7th, 2023. It's about 8:44 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter whether you the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you like me, anything that I say or do. That's your prerogative. If you don't know your United States constitutional rights, you have a First and a 14th Amendment right to speak as you please, freedom of speech, freedom to gather peacefully, freedom to associate peacefully. And what I want to talk to you all about tonight is today, to me, was a good day. And it was an unusual good day because I sat down in Carbondale, Illinois, Southern Illinois, where my son was found hung on Friday, March the 19th, 2021. And since then, I've been battling with the Carbondale Police Department, prosecuting attorneys of Jackson County, Illinois, the NAACP, Carbondale United, and a whole bunch of other people, because I wanted justice for my son. But today at 10 o'clock in Carbondale, Illinois, at the police department, this is unusual. People that I thought I'd never communicate with, never sit down and have a peaceful conversation with, but I did today. I prayed last night. I prayed this morning as I hit the highway to Carbondale, about an hour and 4 minutes one way. When I got there, I met an individual. I thought I wasn't going to talk to him because he a part of Carbondale United and the NAACP. I am too, but I'm a NAACP. My chapter is at large. In other words, I can go to anyone that I want to go to. But anyway, I met with this individual by the name of Van Eichner. And me and him prayed outside of the police station, and we went in. And when we went in, we was met by the chief of police, Stan Reno, who I was disagreeing. I still disagree with things, but we came on one particular note, and it was all peaceful. But we was met by the dispatchers first. Then the dispatchers had sent a female, and she came out, and she introduced herself as Chief Reno's assistant. She took us upstairs, and I was telling her she must jog, because when she was going up them stairs, she was like this here. And that's how good joggers go. But anyway, we went up to the 3rd floor, and we went to their conference room. Can you imagine me criticizing these people for all these years, but yet they opened the door for me? They did something that the NAACP has yet to do, or any other group, any other black or white group has yet to do. But they sat down with me. It was the chief of police. It was I don't know if he's a lieutenant now, but he was a sergeant then that had the investigation of my son's death, Jared Dunnigan. It was the city manager and his assistant, and it was the Deputy Chief Matt Dunning. He was the lieutenant then. And it was another, I don't know his position. I think he's a ranking individual, but he's a black guy. Everybody else is white, besides Aunt Van Eichner, which color don't make a difference. But it was Gary Edwards. Gerald Edwards. It was Gerald Edwards, another law enforcement official. Me and Gerald found out that both of us grew up in the Cabrini Green around the same time, in the same area, doing some of the same years. But we sat down here And from 10 o'clock to 12, and I want to thank all of them, and I thanked all of them before the meeting started, and I apologize to each one of them that I might have called a racist clan or anything that I said negative to them. Me and the chief had already talked. He understood, and he know I didn't. This is something I didn't really mean, but I was angry. Jesus got angry, like I told them in the meeting. Jesus got angry at the merchants when they were selling stuff inside of the synagogue, which was against everything that he taught. And he got so angry, he turned over the tables. But I told him it's okay to get angry, but don't sin in your anger. But I just want to say, they allowed this meeting to go on for 2 hours. I know it's a busy time in Carbondale like it is in Charleston, Missouri, Chicago, and a lot of other places with crimes going all over. But I was sitting there with the highest ranking individuals, with the exception of the mayor and the city council. And all of them, we was able to talk without fighting. Like you see in Congress, the Republicans and the Democrats, they at each other. Even though I didn't agree with a lot of their investigation, it's a couple of things that we agreed on. And one of them was the death of my son and the manner the things went when he was crying out for help. It maybe can prevent somebody, whether it was suicide or homicide, it can prevent another person's death. But I made it clear. I was there to speak up for my son, but at the same time, so it wouldn't happen to somebody else. But you know, when we was talking, I disagreed with the investigation and still do. But one thing about it, I had to get each one of them respect, because it'd be hard for me to sit down at a table with an individual that done talked about me like I talked about them. But I give it to them. They was open. You see what I'm saying? To allow me to come there and express what I think was wrong and what they should have did in this investigation. But the chief let it be known to me, if you can give me some more new evidence, nothing is never closed. If you can show me murder or homicide, something else we can go at, we will. I showed them a few things, and I seen the chief and the city manager's assistant writing things down. Because a lot of the things that I was speaking about was red flags. But at the end of this meeting, I asked, can somebody pray? And they suggested Van Eichner. And I said, how about one of the law enforcement officials? And the deputy chief prayed. And he could have said anything in his prayer. But one of the things he had in his prayer, I felt that was sincere. He said that Raymond make it back to Charleston, Missouri from this meeting. But at the same time, it made me feel like with what Martin Luther King said. You see what I'm saying? If we going back and forward, somebody got to come to the conclusion. Somebody got to have some sense in this world. And I give it to the chief of police. He had the sense and the compassion to allow me to come down when they could have been doing anything else. And then I look at Rodney King when he was beaten unjustly by some of the Los Angeles police, not all of them. Even after that beating, Rodney King words still ring on. He said, can we all just get along? And that's what I looked at when the chief invited me there. Raymond, can we all just get along? I may not agree with his investigator's investigation, But we still got along. At the end, all of us shook hands. The chief told me when he opened up speaking, he let it be known after I told everybody I apologize. The chief let it be known. I want to reiterate. Me and my staff, we saddened by the death of your son. I was trying to say exactly what he said, but then, in other words, we sorry for your loss, and we know how it must feel. You see, it took men and women to come together, even though we didn't see eye to eye on things. It wasn't an uproar like in a lot of these city hall meetings in some of these big cities where they get to fight. I got a little upset, but I wasn't upset enough to saying, hollering at somebody. But I'm looking forward to the next meeting. And I encourage you individuals that have these organizations like Carbondale United, the NAACP, and some of these other groups that's asking for money and getting money, get involved with things like I'm doing. And then to my sons, sisters, and brothers, even his mother, am I in this fight alone, me and my two young daughters down here? Here it is, people that's strangers, law enforcement officials that I looked at as enemies. But God turned that around because it ain't in my heart. It ain't something that my mother and my dad raised me up on. I didn't raise my two young daughters up on. You can't hate a person because of the color of the skin. You can't hate a person because of their occupation. We need police out on the street. Legitimate police. Something that we don't have. We have a few down here in Charles, Missouri, Mississippi County, in the Sheriff Department and the Police Department, especially the two heads. But I'm going to leave it at that. Chief Reno, Mayor, and all the other people, Van Eyck, and all the other people that was there today. I appreciate all of y'all. God bless y'all. God bless y'all families. Even though I don't get off into Christmas and other holidays, happy holidays to you. And I'm hoping if God allowed me to see 2024, that we meet again in January sometime. Peace be still.